Jamaica, 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 boom, 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 bumble clock. Okay, so shout out to all my Jamaicans. I love Jamaica. Got plenty of Jamaican friends. But let's get one damn thing straight. Y'all did not start hip hop. Y'all did not have any great influence in creating hip hop. You are not the pioneers of hip hop or none of that. It's simply not true. Let's stop it. What type of culture vulture type shit is this? Jamaicans, y'all got your own huge culture with the reggae thing going on, and the all the good food with the jerk chicken, and all of that shit. Y'all got Usain Bolt, y'all got Elaine Thompson, y'all got your own shit. But please do not try to take hip hop away from us African Americans. That is what we created, what we started. Jamaicans had no part in creating that. And that little myth that's been started, that's circulating by people who don't know any better, we're going to debunk that today, right now.
Understand, this whole hip hop shit was birthed from Jamaica. Like Kool Herc is a Jamaican nigga. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The whole concept of having big ass speakers stockpiled on top of each other and playing loud ass music outside, that come from Jamaica. That's dance hall culture. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So Kool Herc brought dance hall culture to the US and gave birth to hip hop culture. The only thing that changed was the type of music that was played and how it was played.
Back in Jamaica, jazz and soul started to become a big influence in their music, and with that came R&B from the US.
At the time, it was rhythm and blues. Well, Jamaica plays most American stations. They couldn't pick up English station because we're near America. So all the music we're hearing all the time was always American music.
This is because following World War II, many Jamaicans regularly traveled into southern states of the US on seasonal farm work. This is where they encountered Americans holding block parties playing jazz, soul and R&B from speaker boxes. This is where they encountered Americans holding block parties playing jazz, soul and R&B from speaker boxes. This is where they encountered Americans holding block parties playing jazz, soul and R&B from speaker boxes. This is where they encountered Americans holding block parties playing jazz, soul and R&B from speaker boxes. Jamaicans living in the ghettos of Kingston would have financially found it difficult to obtain new music or see any live gigs at the time. Due to the demand and the lack of live music, three gentlemen took the initiative to supply and play recorded music to parties and dance halls in downtown Kingston. Count Goody, Count Nicholas and Tom Wong. Tom Wong was a hardware store owner. He would take the music and the equipment to play music at block parties every Friday and Saturday. The crowd loved him, giving him his name.
I'm calling Tom, wow, you're a great man, and clapping him. So my friend just called and said, you're a great man. I went to call the great Sebastian, and that name falls on him from that night.
This would become the start of a whole new subculture within the music world, beginning in Jamaica, thus bringing the community together. One day, Tom's car needed a tire change, and luckily a guy called Shine Shoes Vinny was there to help. With his assistance, Tom gave this gentleman the opportunity to become the selector, the specialist in choosing what tracks to play. His name was Vincent Forbes, also known as Duke Vin, as he would operate the first sound system in the UK.
The name hip-hop came from a cadence in marching.
Explain that, please.
Yeah, Grandmaster Flash was playing at a party, all right? And a cowboy, Keith Cowboy, one of his MCs, may he rest in peace, was going into the army next day. So he's fucking with him on the mic. He like, yeah, so-and-so, I forgot the dude's name. Somebody know, but I forgot his name. He was like, yeah, so-and-so, this and that. Yeah, you having a good time now. You partying now, but tomorrow, your ass gonna be getting up at the crack of dawn like, here, ho, here, ho, here, ho. You know that cadence when they walk? Here, ho, here. That's where hip-hop came from. Like, here, ho, here, ho, here, ho. You know that cadence when they walk? Here, ho, here. That's where hip-hop came from. Like, here, ho, here, ho, here, ho. You know that cadence when they walk? Here, ho, here. That's where hip hop came from.
This is fucking me up right now. This is crazy.
And then that cadence became repeated so much, it became like a signature thing, until hip hop, the words hip hop formed. And then Lovebug Starsky was the one who really kind of took it over the top with the hip, the hop, the hip, the hop, the hop, the hop, hip, 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 hip. Hip hop was the most repeated phrase throughout our conversation. So hip hop became the name of our culture.
Where did hip hop start?
It started here in Rosedale Park, Noble Park they called it. That park was rocking all the time.
Yes, just come on, brothers, if you want to hear a story about that preacher and the bear. Gather round, boys, I don't want you to miss none of this here story, cause it goes like this. A preacher, he went out to hunting. It was on one Sunday morning. Though he was one Christian young man, but he took his gun along. Well, the first thing he shot was a bunch of fine quails, and he shot him a nice fat hare. Then through the woods on his way back home, he met a great big grizzly bear.
Yo, but hold up. West Indians came over here with their sound system, and they started hip-hop, right? What was hip-hop?
No. I'm going to say it. You want to say it again? Okay, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say, hell no!
So there you have it. Jamaicans did not create hip-hop. They actually came over here and was influenced by our music and went and took our music back over there and started playing our type of music in their country. So it's actually the other way around. We influenced them. This myth continues despite growing evidence of the contrary. First of all, we have to first define what is hip-hop in the art form. Defining as a genre is an easier task since the music didn't really solidify into the mid-late 80s. I'm going to describe the art form as simple as I can, and then give reasons why Herc and dancehall aren't deserving of credit. The key elements of hip-hop are break beats and toasting. Break beats are essentially extended drum patterns at the direction of the disc jockey. It isn't clear where exactly the practice originated. Jamaicans did not do this in the 1970s. Dub music is often believed to be the precursor of hip-hop. However, dub effects weren't performed on site. Instead, they were pre-recorded on acetate discs before being rotated at the dance halls. Because American disc jockeys were performing break beats across cultural and geographical boundaries. Toasting is described as chants over live music. While Jamaican MCs, DJs known to Jamaicans, there have been eyewitness accounts of these activities being used by neighborhood DJs earlier than 1974. The date Herc reportedly to have debuted hip-hop. You also have to take into account how Jamaican disc jockeys were influenced by radio disc jockeys from the southern United States who toasted before presenting music on the airplay. I also want to point out that Kool Herc migrated to the U.S. at a very young age. He was too young to have witnessed the dancehall scene in Kingston.
My question to you is, as far as early hip-hop, because they tried to make it seem like hip-hop began from 3 West Indians.
I am one of the architecture of what we call hip-hop culture, along with my other comrades, brother Cool DJ Herc, who we call the father, myself, and the Grandmaster Flash, and then all the other pioneers who came after us. Myself, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, Cool DJ Herc, all are West Indian background. Kool Herc's Jamaica, myself Jamaica and Barbados, and Grandmaster Flash Barbados.
Where would hip-hop be without Caribbean Americans? There wouldn't be no hip-hop.
So my thing is so 100 years from now, people looking at that would say, wow, hip-hop was a West Indian thing maybe. People might conclude that. 100 years from now, that hip-hop was a West Indian thing. So my question to you is, early hip-hop, was it a West Indian feel?
Not at all.
Not at all. Was it any dreads? Was it any dreads?
Early hip hop, 74, 75, when y'all was out in this park, was it a West Indian feel to it? Was it?
No, it was all African Americans and Spanish.
Right.
It's an urban atmosphere, man.
Right.
You had your Jamaicans or whatever out here, your Caribbean people out here.
Right.
But no, it wasn't that.
Any dreads, rosters?
Like I said, and this is me.
Right.
The first time I ever heard Jamaican music was from Herc. And that was from 74 and down. So in the beginning,
right,
you know, you might have heard Bob Marley, you know, do one or two things on the radio, maybe.
Right.
But as far as going to a party and listening to it, everybody be like, yo, turn that shit off.
Right? Turn that reggae off.
Yeah. They be like, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Happened with us, and I'm gonna tell you what happened with us. This is really what happened with us. Number one, we didn't have the backing. Number two, we were so busy trying to be fly.
That's exactly what I was trying to be fly, right?
That we couldn't think about anything else.
Yeah.
And other people that weren't getting the women like us,
right,
they could think about different
money,
stuff.
taking it to business,
taking
right?
it to a business level.
Business level,
We was too fly for that. Like
Too
right
fly.
now, even to this day, the old schoolers, you
you
can look at an old schooler or whatever. If they haven't seen you in a little time, they'll act like they don't even, you know, they remember you.
Yo, that's so funny, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny, because dealing with spades, they, you know what I'm saying, they're older dudes, but I just be getting the vibe like, yo, these dudes just still think they just the flyest dudes in the world.
Because
and
that
it's
was,
like, yo,
that was the main thing. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's, you know, if you really think about it, you know, just like when we went over there to the building or whatever, if you thinking about it, the people that we were calling nerds, or people that weren't, you know, wasn't able to come outside and stuff,
right,
those are the people that thought about, hey, to make it this.
Yeah, make it a business.
You
Take
know?
it to a business level
Right.
and capitalize on it.
Capitalize
when we was doing for fun.
For fun, right.
We was
And
just
so,
doing it for fun.
Because they couldn't get, and so those are who's telling the story.
Places like Murphy Projects, over by the Cross Bronx Expressway, they give party days once every Friday. First Fridays. And I'm gonna start getting nice here, more Americanized, more hip. And I'm gonna start getting nice here, more Americanized, more hip. And seeing how people react and dancing, you know, and little you know, I'm picking up the gripes from the audience. I'm out there putting it, and here, how come you don't have that record? Why you taking it over right there before the other part come on? And I'm one of them. So I took that concept from the dancer's perspective behind the turntable. So I'm not behind the turntable trying to make it beat sound like the other beat or keep. No, I'm playing what we want to hear on the dance floor. And however it come in, I can bring it to my best of my ability. So I'm not no DJ. I became a DJ by doing what I was doing. So I'm not no DJ. I became a DJ by doing what I was doing. I was the host of the party and the dancer that's behind the turntable playing for my dancing friend out there.
So, even more evidence. Herc was not a rapper. He was a DJ, and DJs during the time period had sidekicks called MCs. Kool Herc's MC was an African-American named Kool Herc. Coke didn't rap in the traditional sense. His style was more similar to jive talking and call and response. The first person in the 70s to rap to the beat was DJ Hollywood, who was an African American and was not part of the hip hop scene, but part of the disco scene. What Herc contributed to the formation of hip hop was extending the break beats of funk, soul, and disco records. And he did this by playing the same record on two turntables. A lot of Caribbean people claim that Herc brought toasting and Jamaican sound systems to America. Herc himself has denied on both claims and stated neither toasting or Jamaican sound systems had anything to do with the formation of hip hop. Keep in mind, Kool Herc, like all of the so-called Caribbean founders of hip-hop, came to America when they were children. Herc was only 9 when he came to the States. All those dudes were Americanized. Everything they knew about music they learned in America. All of their favorite music was American. That's why once they got to the recording area, they were rapping over funk, soul, and disco, not reggae. They didn't bring any Caribbean culture with them to America as children. They didn't create shit. All they did was assimilate into African American party culture, which is 100% true. Kool Herc did not throw the first hip hop party. Disco King Mario, who was African American, was before Herc.
Can't play that. He wouldn't be able to play. It wasn't for Mario.
He definitely is one of the fathers of hip hop. He definitely helped make hip hop what it is today.
Hip hop.
Paul, even down and jived his ma and law. He jived every soul. He jived the mule named Maud. He was so game, he jived the Cadillac squad. Had a habit of...
So Jamaicans created hip hop? Nah, not at all. Absolutely not. Hip hop is 100% African American. Y'all have a good day.
Everybody wants credit for it, and we give everybody credit for it. Like, yeah, you want to get credit for our music? That's fine. That's why we see a lot of people talking about Jamaicans created hip hop, which is not true.
No, we did.
How so? Oh, let's get into this. How you create hip hop?
Well, okay.
Come on, let's get into this. Let's get into this. How you create hip hop, man?
Well, I didn't create hip hop.
How did Jamaicans create hip hop?
But I'm gonna. I heard it was because of Jamaicans. I was just here telling you the narrative I've heard.
We're gonna clear that up.
The narrative, because the Jamaicans that inspired Kool Herc to go to the Bronx, do whatever. That's what I've heard. And by the way, for my people from the islands, I'm trying to be our representative, and I'm here to be a buffer. You know what I mean? I'm here to be a buffer.
We're gonna clear these lies up, though.
No, hold up. I'm gonna get somebody in the next room to Google the joint. So you're trying to don't take it from us, Jamaicans. Come on.
Y'all didn't create hip hop. I'm sorry, brother. There were rap records in the 1960s. Pig Meat Markham had a couple of records.
What was the first hip hop record?
Well, the first technical hip hop record is a cross between King Tim III and Rapper's Delight. The first technical hip hop record doing what they were doing at the parties in the Bronx. A record. But rap records existed going back to the 1920s, where people were rapping on beat. Foundational Black Americans, we've been doing that. Gospel troops rapping over the beat. Even the word rap, that's something that Foundational Black Americans were doing in the 60s. The word, the term, even hip hop, that was kind of a term that we were.
How did the narrative get mixed up?
It got mixed up because of writers talking about Kool Herc. Kool Herc's parties got popular. And because Kool Herc's parties got popular, he tried to attribute, well, he created hip hop, which he didn't. He just got a lot of stuff that people were already doing and kind of put it together in one place. And what made Herc's parties popular, because Herc wasn't a mixer or a scratcher or nothing like that. He played break beats, which other DJs played break beats too. And there were other DJs before Herc, like Disco King Mario, who's Foundational Black American. And again, they were using funk breaks by James Brown. Modern graffiti came out of Philadelphia by a dude named Cornbread early back in the 60s. So all the elements of hip hop was there. The thing about Herc would do something that a lot of DJs didn't do. What he would do was soak the records, so you wouldn't see what the records were. So people heard these funky records and these breaks, and they wanted to hear him again. And in order to hear him again, you had to go to Herc's parties because he didn't let nobody know what the records were. That gave Herc an edge. That's pretty much it. But all the hip hop elements were already there.
I feel like but do you at least admit that there's some commonality or synergy between, like, even some of the culture that existed in the Caribbean, that I don't want to say necessarily inspired, but crossed over, whether it was from an exchange of immigrants or anything like that?
No, because Kool Herc couldn't play Caribbean music at his jams. He's admitted that. He said, I tried to play reggae music, the crowds didn't like it. There was nothing about Caribbean music that influenced hip hop here. Absolutely nothing. And that's been a myth that's been perpetuated for years, and nobody wants to clear it up. We have to clear that stuff up, and we ain't trying to take anything away, but we won't let people take away from us as foundational Black Americans. Hip hop is a 100% foundational Black American creation because hip hop was born out of the funk movement that was around at the same time. Even b-boying comes from the funk music. You can't b-boy from Jamaican music. The rhythms of funk music, you have to start the beat on the one, and when people pop like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's funk all the way. Everything about it comes from foundational Black American funk, and then that turned into FBA hip hop.